Greetings, mortals. I am Natus, one of the rulers of the underworld, or specifically the ruler of Manga Hell. Now, as some of you may have been aware, there hasn't been a few videos earlier in the day, well, earlier in the week, so I do apologize on that front. There was a few problems with the time guard that I had to wipe out, and needless to say, there shouldn't be any problems, or at the very least, there'll be less of a problem shortly, until someone now gets replaced by him. Because trust me, the number of gods that we have is just ridiculous. Almost the same as ridiculous as the number of devil gods, but I make sure to be on top of them. So yeah, anyways, this video has been delayed long enough, so let's just get into this chapter action. And today we'll be starting the reactions with the Four Knights of the Apocalypse, chapter 63E, titled Taming a Wild Horse. Kind of random thing to be focusing on right now, but I guess the Four Knights are originally called the Four Horsemen, so it does make sense for that. So yeah, anyways, the first page we get of the Four Knights is actually Percival trying to ride Anne's horse, who I think it was just left at the saddle in Lyoness. I'm not exactly sure. Like, I don't think it was actually stated, but I feel like we can just assume that's what happened because let's be real, Anne dragging a horse around in the entirety of Lyoness doesn't really make much sense. And it doesn't like it would just be a drag. Especially since all you need to do is like, hey, one of you knights, can you take Anne's horse into the stall with the rest of the horses? So yeah, so it does make sense where he's there. But anyways, let's get into it, to the actual chronological stuff. So we pick this chapter off where we left it off with Percival punching away, with Pelgar falling and Tristan being right behind them. So and then we immediately see what after Percival punched Gawain, Percival's like, Belgard! As he goes down to get Pelgar, as he just swoops down behind, faster than Pelgar was falling to grab him, as if like, as he slowly uses his powers to get down to the air with a sweet little thing, with a little step, as he then just puts Pelgar down, as Pelgar just sits there, is like, you exasperated me. Huh. And then Pelgar's like, why are you aiding your enemy? Huh. Which is to be fair, a logical thing to ask. But anyways, then we have Percival like fixing his cape a bit. It's like, huh? Well, why did you come for me? Referring to the previous attack by Gawain. As Pelgar's in like, what's wrong with protecting someone I care about? So, yeah. Now, some people actually wonder if this is a deeper connection between Palgod and Percival, which, if you ask me personally, I feel like there is because, how do I say this? It was stated that Ironside and Percival's grandfather were like, I think part of a group that betrayed Arthur, or however that thing is going on. So it's possible that Palgod does know who uh, Percival and his grandfather are. In fact, the way that I kind of get from Ironside and Palgod's in terms of relationship is like, if you have, like, Ironside is not someone who has friends or allies outside of, the basic structure of the Chaos Knights, but if there was anyone you could kind of consider, if you had to, like, pick one character, that seems to kind of be Palgod, so maybe Pelgar does know more about Percival than he's lying on. Like, we know characters know more about Percival than he knows, or even Ironside, because Meliodas fucking knows Percival. So, yeah. Anyways, then we have Percival just responding with, you're so weird. And then we have Pelgar just saying, oh, you want to talk? Oh, 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 oh. I guess he realized he's hurt. As then, immediately to cut this bonding sequence, we have Gawain stomping on the ground as Percival quickly turns around to look at her as she immediately kicks Percival with her butt right into Percival's stomach as he's stuck in her leg as her legs up as Gawain's just like, I am descended from a mighty king Defying me is like trying to defy heaven. Well, aren't you filled with yourself, Gawain? As then we see a shot of Percival being there, and my guy is basically like, oh, God, why is this woman, how did this woman stick me with her boot without actually making a hole in it? So that's kind of how it looks like. You know, Luffy's rubber foot works? That's kind of how it looks to be right now here. But anyways, there we have Gawain just flickering Percival away with her hand as Percival falls in the air on the ground as then he falls over. You know the shot when you get impacted and getting sent away again. As Gawain just says, "Know your place." And then we see Percival in the air. As there are Tristan showing up, grabbing Percival as he steps down. As then Tristan's like, enough already! And then was like, out of my way, Prince Christian. That child attacked me as I was dispatching the enemy. So I guess he's trying to like have a more high ground. I guess she forgot the part where he's needed. So even if he, even if first of all, for God's sake reason, was a secret spy for Arthur, you are going to need him. Like you're gonna have to have him convinced to join you. Like there's no real reason for Gawain to try to kill Percival here. But because Gawain is the way she is, she wants to kill him. And then Christian thinking to himself, be like, not so fast! You were trying to slash Percival along with that Knight of Chaos! So yeah, but Christian has the basic level eyes, so he's able to see what was happening beforehand. And then Christian healing Percival as like, oh. As then we have a shot of Gawain, and she was like, you like to sweet the details even more than I thought. Isn't it so tiresome? Move, please. As then Tristan just approaches her, she's like, haven't you had enough? And he was like, I'm the one who decides that. As then we have merely the next couple of lines from Tristan are actually pretty cool, so I'm gonna give him a more respectable voice. He's a knight of prophecy, just like you. Hurting your friends like this it's just wrong. The whole it's just wrong is again feels like I should just give him the voice, the woman for a Spaz voice. As then we have going just leaning down at him, she's like, see, that's what irks me the most. Putting me in the same company as you or that child, it's sheer humiliation. Alright, so I get Percival because we don't really know that much lineage, and from what we know so far, it doesn't even seem like Percival does have that impressive much of a lineage, but Gawain does know that Prince Christian is a descendant of a king who is a descendant of a demon king, as well as his bride is a descendant of a goddess. This. So I do not understand how being in the same boat as Tristan is even that much of an argument. Hell, the way how Gawain said earlier about how defying her is like defying heaven. One of Tristan's parents is literally from heaven. So I do not really understand why Gawain is humiliated by Tristan of all people to be there. Lancelot maybe because I don't know how noteworthy the whole Ball and Elena in terms of fairies and all that. But Tristan is literally a descendant of heaven and hell respectively. Well, when I say literally, I mean like descendant from the rulers of the strongest beings from the clans. So again, it's weird that she's saying that it's humiliation for her to be in the same boat as Tristan. Like, who the hell was this mighty king, honestly? Is she talking about Arthur or Ascano or someone else that don't know from Camelot? Because I really do not think anyone really should be considered above, except maybe, again, Arthur, but even him I would debate. But yeah, anyways, there we have Gawain, like, we got more of a back shot from Gawain. Unfortunately, it's not full fan service because it's too wide back. And Gawain just says, and what was that? Friends, nothing more than a week huddling together. Remember this, only those stronger than I can give orders and move me around. But I'm perfect in every way, so no one can do it. And she says that would also get a more sadistic expression up right up to Trishan's face. So yeah, she even thinks even more highly of herself than we thought originally. So yeah, anyways, then we have Gawain saying, "If you disagree, prove it to me. Or are those swords just for show?" And then we should get a shot of Trishan's swords, which I think was there to be named Mael and Esterosa, but I am not sure exactly because I think that information came from some kind of like an interview or something that Nukabam did recently. But outside that, I'm not exactly sure. As then we see Tristan like putting his hands up, but instead of grabbing his swords, he just clenches them. As then we have Tristan's badass line be like, "My blades shall never be pointed at my own allies." But Gawain, I mean, just slaps him away like the spastic woman that Tristan is, as he just says weakling, which actually does send Tristan a bit back away on his feet, a bit down. Now, so we're gonna go into power scaling here about Tristan and Gawain and all that. And I'm like, let's wait for until we get actually more of more of a discernible feats from Tristan. Because remember, no goddess, no demon, maybe a transformation or two. We have no idea exactly. Hell, in this chapter, we're gonna see exactly why assuming anyone's power level right now is kind of ridiculous. So I would wait on the power game for Tristan until a bit later. So anyways, the person was standing up and is like, "Say you're sorry. Tristan braved danger to help me and my friends. He's a nice guy." I guess he's referring to that part where he fought against Tristan and in the beginning of this arc where he fought against Tristan and Tristan healed everyone and all that. But still. Anyways, there Gawain just approaching. Person was in. Person was just like, "And now you make me mad." As then we have person just saying, a girl as unyielding as you, what do you call that? Is actually moving backwards. Now I'm not sure exactly if person was actually not sure on the word or he's just scared or something, but he seems to be backing away. As then we have Trisha going back to the spastic one and be like, "Don't anger her any further!" As then we just see a bit of like a subtle sadistic expression from Gawain. As Bezos then like, all right, a wild horse like you. And then we just have Gawain going for a punch. As they get a whack. And then the next page we get to see Pelgard show up saying, "I will tame her." As we actually see Percy actually flinch when she went to punch him, and he closes his eyes, but now he opens up to see it exactly. As then we get a shot of Pelgard holding Gawain's hand, and she's like, "What?" And yeah, also Gawain has a really big hip game right now in this panel. So yeah. Anyways, there we have Percy like, "Pelgard, but you're too hurt." As there, Pelgard just looking at Percy is like, "It's a good handicap for me, and that Palion kid's weird magic seems to have worn off too." So yeah, it seems like the magic is no longer a factor. As there we have Gawain like spurring her magic. I was like, "You worthless worm! You just signed your own death warrant!" And she just has a bunch of gold spraying all over the things. As like a bunch of blimps all over. As all these blimps are actually strong enough to send Percival away. And then we have Tristan using his god swings to get grabbing Percival like, I can't step in. And then we have Percival just going, "Gawain, stop!" And then we see we see Gawain in that of her sending her magic away with her blade there. She's like, "Prepare to roast inside your armor." As we see a silhouette of Pelgard, as then Pelgard just immediately uses his mace to like punch her, attack her, in going into her into her chest. It's actually also similar to how going to start the chapter kicked Percival. Well, now we see have a similar shot of Gawain getting her abs getting real kicked in. As it is actually strong enough to blow Gawain away. As goes like, ah. As then we have Pelgard be like, "Don't berate me, woman." As then we have Gawain be like, as he goes back to that sadistic smile, like, "The hell you say?" and then I have Gawain just kicking the floor. She jumps into the air, and then she brings her sword or whatever it calls. I think it's called Lita down at Palgot. She goes with full force, and then she seems to be continuously slicing this way at Palgot. And then we have person like what? Fah! And Stritch like closing one of his eyes for the shockwaves. And then you see like a show of how much destruction that's causing and all the smoke that's being risen. Is there a person will be like, Palgot! As Tristan and Pistol are on the floor. And then Pistol just looks at it and he sees that Palgot is, well, in Pistol's words, he's staking the attacks. As it seems like Palgot's just standing there and taking it all. And then have Tristan be like, no, he's sparing it! Oh, foe not! What incredible talent! Wayne does attack with fierce and force and speed at first glance, but huh, as then we see Paco just saying, your moves are so basic. As then we see Palga just blocking one attack and redirecting it, or like pelling the attack into the ground. As we see her Sono hitting the ground. I think Palga's like, that's never going to beat me. As he then uses his mitt to slam at Gawain again up her chin, which sends her right into the air, and that looks to be really fucking high up. Like Percival and Tristan both look up in shock, like ah. As then we see the gravity finally being allowed to kick in, and then we see Gawain falling down to the ground, and that makes like a crater, like a significant size crater, as it will just also so just sends a bunch of dirt all over the place. And some dirt actually does bounce off of Balgot's armor, as there are Balgot just saying, "You are a knight of prophecy. Your potential is truly without bound, but your ability haven't caught up yet. You're still an amateur. Perfect, you say? Don't make me laugh. You haven't mastered your access strength. You're letting it throw you around instead." As we see a shelf go away on the ground, just be like, what the fuck just happened? And then Papa be like, if you fought anyone besides me, you'd be dead now. Admit to your shortcomings and train well if you want to have a long life. So yeah. Now, what I think Palgat is referring to when he says here, you if you wanna anyone besides him. I think he's referring to whatever group of elite knights that the author has, because I feel like it's very likely Balgot is in that group. So if she had fought Ironside, she would be dead right now, basically. If she fought the guy with the star-shaped visor, she'll be dead by now. If Morgan Le Fay is gonna be a part of that group of knights, Gawain would be dead right now, basically. The final one is just my speculations, but it's possible she'll show up or not. I'm not checking so sure. I just feel like it could be. So yeah, anyways, then we get a shot of Gawain getting angry as she lifts her hand, then slams her down at his disrespect, and then we get a bit more silence, as then we see the final page of the chapter with Gawain just being a big baby and just crying her eyes out, as I'm just assuming it's gonna the rest of her body just moving in a very baby throwing a tantrum type of way, like nah, wah, which I personally just find hilarious. Like I'm not sure how next chapter's gonna start off, but I just feel like the next chapter's gonna basically be like a shot of a, you know, however, I'm guessing Gawain is 16 years old, judging by the rest of the knights, but like a shot of a woman who looks like she could be 20 or so, like throwing a big tantrum like a baby, which is just a hilarious visual. Like just this picture of her crying right now already looks hilarious enough. So yeah, let's talk about a few things. Let's start talking about Belgard's power level, okay? Because I feel like a lot of people are a bit curious, like how is that possible? How he managed to do it and all that. Let me explain. The thing you have to understand is Nakaba has this tendency to, you know, have a character introduced with a certain power level right now, and that seems to be like how powerful they are. But then throughout the story, or like whenever the story needs that, they will reveal, oh no, they are more badass than what we assumed earlier. For example, in the last arc with the Dark Talismans, Donnie. Up to that point in the story, we all thought Donnie had like no skill in Blade, no training. Hell, even the beginning of the arc literally had the one of the Dark Talismans, I think it was again, be like, not even mentioning his swordsman play while he's complimenting everyone else. So, and then at the end, where he has to fight that giant barbarian good, I think it was Don Chimonti or something, he actually is able to, like, do pretty well. Actually beat the, get cuts in and beat him. Pretty much as easy, pretty much like if Berserk was fighting one of the Dark Talismans. Like, not even any, like, additional help or anything. Like, on his own with only Sin telling him, hey, this isn't just gravitational control. You can actually use him like a telekinesis. But yeah, so it's not uncommon for something like this to reveal with Palgod. And also, let's be real here, the first couple of chapters where Gawain appeared in, where she really got her best feats at Palgod, will have introduction chapters, and every chapter in their introduction chapters will look 10 times better than they actually are in terms of power wise. I also feel that's why people were kind of down with grading Palgod, because we spent like 2 chapters with Lancelot just dominating the Dark Talismans. So people probably don't. So that's why, even though I feel like it was very clear that Palgod is in his own tier of power here. But yeah, it's pretty much just that. So yeah, that's what my thought on Palgod's power level is. Now let's talk about Gawain's reaction. And here, I don't mind the prop with Gawain being defeated right now in front of a big tantrum. Like, I'm not someone who likes it when the MCs are overly prideful. It always just kind of feels like a writer has like a double standard when it comes to characters. Like villains, they are prideful. Oh no, they're a bunch of idiots and gonna end up being complete fools. A hero being prideful. Oh yeah, they are fucking badass. They kick everything. There's like barely any times with their in the back foot. So I personally have no problem with Gawain being throwing a big tantrum like a baby here. What I am actually more wondering is, well, my bigger problem is with about it. I don't know if I like the fact that how quickly Gawain threw like a tantrum to, like, this tantrum by Gawain here shows how fragile her ego is, or how high up she thought of herself, or how spoiled she is, whatever you want to say. With her basically just having like 2 good hits and she's already crying like a baby, or if I would prefer her to have, have been more humiliated by Balgod, like him, like not just blocking, deflecting a few hits, like he actually starts to, trip her very easily with use of his mace, or like just embarrass her a lot. Like she's trying to send more power to him, but the more power she sends to him, the easier it is for him to just like make her look like a fool, basically. So I do kind of feel like I am kind of split if this is a good thing, or if I want to make it more like you're an idiot, or you're an amateur versus Palgod. But yeah, outside that, it's a pretty nice ending. Now, so the next chapter, I'm not exactly sure. I think I heard on Reddit that apparently the next chapter is supposed to be titled Avengers, but I'm pretty sure that's by the same guy who also said this chapter is gonna be titled Hope versus what was it? Hope versus not Hope. What was it? What's Conquest? I think that's what Roman is Conquest, right? Yes, Hope versus Conquest, or Hope versus something. I'm not really sure. Maybe I'm confusing it with the guy when pencils choose polls, but I'm pretty sure that's like one title. So I'm not really sure if Avengers is actually going to be the chapter of the next chapter's title. Although I do feel like revealing that whatever offers elite group of knights is a good moment here. Now, as for how things could go ahead, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe like some third party is gonna appear, or something unexpected. Someone unexpected is going to show up, like maybe Meliodas or someone else. But I'm not exactly sure. So yeah, we'll see on that front. It's too big to tell for now. Now, anyways, I hope you like this reaction. I hope you guys leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more videos in the future. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you mortals next time. Goodbye.